Hey, welcome to Outsmart Your Guitar. Glad you could join us. Today in Soloing Concepts, we're in part 2 on how to stop sounding like you're running scales when you're playing your solos, right? So let's just get right to it and make it happen. Oh, and be sure to like and subscribe to Outsmart Your Guitar along the way. You hear a lot of talk about phrasing, and you've probably seen some lessons about it too. Well, I have my take on how to go about helping you understand this idea of phrasing. And so I'm going to walk through a couple of approaches that you can use, that you can put into play right now to help you start learning to understand and apply this whole idea of phrasing. All right? So, you ready to go? Strap on your guitar and let's get to it. First things first, we need a rhythm, a progression for you to learn and record into your looper. So, you have a D minor, G, F, and C, all bars. Now, you can, if you want, it's up to you. I'm going to play with more control over the sound of the strings playing bar chords. Okay, so the strum is pretty straightforward. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and that's it. That's the whole strum throughout. Now, you can count it 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and It's up to you what you're more comfortable with. So, here's what it sounds like. And that's it, right? And then you will solo over the top of this. So, pause the video, learn this, smooth it out, put it to a metronome. Remember, you want to play the rhythm at a tempo where you are comfortable in your soloing, all right? You don't want to do it too fast, in other words. In some ways, it's almost better to play it just a little slower than you would normally think this should be played, just so you have room to think about what you're doing because you're learning new things, right? So slower is absolutely cool. All right, then when you're ready to proceed, press play. Before we get into playing over the rhythm progression, what I want to do is talk to you about employing a couple of ideas and exercises on how to create better phrasing, how to really dig into phrasing. So the first exercise is going to seem a little awkward and silly at first, but it really drives home the point of just what phrasing is. So what I want you to do is I want you to play as you talk. So talk about something you're interested in, cars or, music, whatever. It really doesn't matter what you talk about. The idea is make your playing mimic your talking. So when you pause, playing. If there's silence, let there be silence. This is quite all right. And don't worry about sounding musical. This is about mimicking your speech in the phrasing elements, not playing great melodies. Right now, you've got to work phrasing. So let me demonstrate a few ideas. I'll be in the first position. We're in the key of D, and we're starting with the pentatonic minor. Because I said I would do the pentatonics first before expanding into other scale possibilities. So let me play and show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to talk, and my playing is going to mimic my speaking, my speech pattern, and so phrasing. All right, here we go. Now, when you first do this, it's going to seem really awkward, but you'll get used to it as you do it more. And that's the whole idea behind employing this whole approach. You will see that those pauses are very beneficial when you're trying to make your playing sound more vocal and musical. Because when you listen to people talk, you hear them make pauses, and sometimes they will draw out a word, and so you want to mimic that whole idea. Now, when you do some silent stuff, like I just did, silence the guitar, because silence is every bit as much a part of music as the notes that you play. Okay, that makes sense? Again, I wasn't working on sounding musical as much as I was working on mimicking my speech flow. When I talked, I played. When I paused by holding a note or just not playing anything. And you saw the one big silent moment there before I started playing again. Those moments of silence, as I said, are every bit as important as the notes that you'll play too. Music is made up of sound and silence. All right? So, pause. Play through this idea. Now, I just played in the first position. If you want to play in other positions, that's cool. But the idea here is not so much to sound musical as it is to mimic your speech and when you pause. This way you will get the sense of how you naturally phrase things when you're speaking, because that's what we're mimicking here is speech patterns. And we all speak in phrases, groups of words. So groups of notes with pauses between them is what you're after. All right? So go for it. 10 minutes, maybe more. This next exercise is one where you're going to be playing broken phrases. And what I mean by that is they're going to be separated, but they are going to actually be separate parts of a greater coherent phrase. I'll get into that in a minute. The progression is 4 measures long. Each measure is 6 beats, and you have each chord lasting for 1 measure, so 6 beats. So we're going to break each measure into 2 parts, 3 beats and then 3 beats, right? 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6. In the first half of the measure, you're going to play the chord. And so in the first measure, the D minor is the chord. So 1, 2, 3. Now, you can also play 1, 2, 3. Rest on 3. It's up to you. You can even go 1, 2, 3, but don't play any single note bits until 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you go to the G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then to the F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then to the C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back to the D minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you just keep going. Now, the coherent thing. Each 3-note bit you play on 4, 5, and 6, try to make the next 3-note bit a continuation of what you've already played, so that you're actually breaking the phrase into parts separated by the chord accents. This will take a little while to learn to do well. You have to be very clear and deliberate in your note choices as a result. That also helps in your phrasing, because when you're thinking about what you have to play or want to play, you have to really pay attention. And that's part of the deal here, okay? So pause the video, practice this for 5, 10 minutes, even more if you want. And again, the chord takes the first 3 beats, no matter which way you play it. You don't start playing single notes until the 4th beat. All right? A really nice variation on this exercise is that you can arpeggiate the chords in the first 3 beats. So for D minor, 1, 2, 3, you can let it all ring out or play them individually. 1, 2, 3. You can play 2 notes, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, or just 1. Holding it for all 3 beats, 1, 2, or 1, and then resting for 2 beats before continuing on. How you approach it, you really want to think about it, and I caution you though, make sure that you play the whole chord part of the progression the same if you're going to do it. For example, if I play 2 notes over 3 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I played the bottom and the top note of those 3 strings. That way, there's consistency in the rhythmic approach, and you want to do that because it makes it more coherent. Okay, just as you're trying to make the solo parts coherent from bit to bit, so you want to be consistent in how you approach playing the rhythm part. So here's an example of what I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 1. And you can do that for 4 measures just to give it more of, consistency and, again, coherence. You don't want to just do it 1 measure and then change it up. You can do it 2 measures too, at least 2 measures. Okay, so that's the idea here. So go ahead and pause and have a little fun with arpeggiating the rhythm bits before playing the lead bits. The nature of the progression you've been playing over here is such that it actually allows that another scale can be employed. So what you're looking at on the screen is you see the pentatonic minor scale, all the black notes and the open circle notes, but now you see in red some new notes. Now there are 5 notes there, but it's actually only 2 notes repeated on the fretboard. At 12 on 6 is an E, at 7 on 4 is a B, at 7 on 3 is another E, at 12 on 2 is a B, and at 12 on 1 is another E. Right? So how you play this is actually pretty straightforward. Start just like with the pentatonic minor. Play with your 2nd finger, the new note, the E. Now, instead of playing with your 3rd finger here, play with your 4th finger here at the 12th fret on the 5th string so that your 1st finger can reach back more comfortably to the B at 7 on 4. And then 2nd finger, 4, repeat the same thing on the next string. And then shift back on the 2nd string at the 10th fret with your 1st finger so that you can comfortably reach the 13th fret and there as well. Descending, you do it exactly backwards. Your 4th finger at 12 on 3 so that your 2nd and 1st can do this. 4th finger at 12 on 4. And then 4th finger at 12 on 5. 1st finger at 10 on 5 so that you can reach the 13th fret on 6 and so come back home. Okay? Now, you have those extra notes. So, what I want you to do is get comfortable playing this. So, turn on your metronome, your looper, and play this over your looper to hear how it sounds, right? 4, 5, 6. And you just play for a couple of minutes, up and back. Don't go soloing it, just up and back, and get comfortable with the fingering and the sound of the scale. All right? Then press play when you're ready to keep going. Now that you're comfortable running the scale up and back, let's take it out for a test drive and just solo over this using the new notes where you think they'll work. You can stay pentatonic minor and add them in if you want, or you can play Dorian and remove them when you don't want to use them, reverting to pentatonic minor. It's up to you. Pentatonic minor, add Dorian, play Dorian, and remove notes to revert to pentatonic minor. It's up to you. Either way is cool. So this is what you want to do. 4, 5, 6. Well, let's get the thing going. 4, 5, 6. So again, just have fun with it. Play for 5, 10 minutes or so, and just stay mostly in the first position, maybe a little in the second position, but don't wander all over the place. Stay focused right here for the moment, just to get comfortable. All right? Now that you're comfortable running the scale and playing around with it, and you've taken it out for your test drive, let's narrow the focus. Top 3 strings, first position. Just those notes. Okay? So something along these lines. 4, 5, 6. Along those lines. Again, it can be a little limiting in some respects, and that's okay. The variety of things you play may not be all that great, but we're just staying focused on 3 strings. Now, in reality, you can stay there and venture out of it for a moment and then come back to it if you're trying to create a little bit more substantive phrase with a little bit more depth of notes, meaning deeper notes, coming down, adding in the 4th string, for example. And that's fine. The object here is to limit your movement in some respects so that you're not going to play scales, running the fretboard. Okay, so spend about, 5, 7 minutes doing this, right? And see how you do. One of the great benefits of going through this series for you is that you are actually going to be improvising as you learn this stuff, because that's basically what I'm encouraging you to do as you work each exercise. You're going to improvise. You're not going to look at something that's set in stone. This is why I have no written material in this series, because I don't want you to play set stuff. I want you to apply the principles and the tools that I'm giving you here in your playing so that you can get more spontaneous in one respect. Improvisation is a great thing, particularly when you're in a jam session. You can't bring set solos into a jam session when you're just playing an improvised tune, right? Somebody made up a rhythm, now you're going to play over it. Well, it may sound a little like this over here, and you can take elements from that and bring it into the jam, but really you want to make stuff up as you go. Learning to improvise through the application of these tools in getting away from sounding like you're playing scales is a great bonus to getting away from playing in a way that sounds like scales. And you have to really listen to your playing and apply the phrasing elements and all this other stuff that I brought to the table here for you to use to help you grow and improve as a guitar player in general, and in your improvisational skills in particular, as part of the work you're going to do to break out of sounding like you're playing scales. Okay? So that is awesome. And you too are awesome because you are here to learn, and I am here to teach. And this is something I love to do. I've been doing it for decades now, and I can't tell you what a thrill it is to watch somebody go from not being able to play at all to being able to play really cool tunes, and the look on their face when they discover new stuff, it's priceless. You can't buy that kind of beauty. So I want to thank you again sincerely for spending the time here learning the things I have to offer. I really do appreciate your attention, all right, and your time. So there may be another part to this whole getting out of sounding like you're playing scales. I haven't decided yet, but I'm sure there's more I can offer. And when that comes up, I'll bring it to your attention. For now, though, you take care, and we'll see you soon.